Right, good evening, members, and Bwana Yesu asifiwe. I want to take this opportunity to welcome us again to our Tuesday virtual engagement, a continuation of where we started last week on cyber security awareness. And tonight we are also privileged to have yet an expert in that area to carry on with that conversation. And therefore, I want to welcome us all to the engagement tonight. And we want to start with a word of prayer. And after this, we are going to allow Bonface Asiligwa, who is a cybersecurity and IT governance consultant to carry us through with the conversation. So tuombe so that we start off our engagement. Everlasting Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to share in this platform. And we also thank you, Father, for allowing us as a church to be able to address contemporary issues that affect us from our day-to-day lives, and we are thankful for the fact that you have been able to come. We ask the Lord you may bless us as we engage, and more so our speaker as he shares with us tonight. We pray this believing in Jesus' name, amen. So asanteni sana, members. Continue sharing the link with other people so that they can also join and learn, and we walk together. So I want to welcome Bwana Bonface. Bonface is a cybersecurity and IT governance consultant, as I have mentioned earlier, and he's coming to us from Kentrade. He works for Kentrade, and he is also an expert in matters concerning cybersecurity, like I mentioned last week, and therefore we want to learn more things so that we can remain aware in these times of technological advancement. So, Bwana Bonface, karibu sana, so that you can share with us. I'll ask the rest of us to remain muted unless anyone is speaking. And of course, if you have a comment, you can share it with us on the chat section, or you can use the raise hand button, and the speaker will allow you to share whatever it is that you want to share with us. But you can text, and towards the end of the session, we shall also have an opportunity to hear your responses. So karibu sana Boni.
Yeah, so chat members, welcome this evening once again for as it has been introduced for a session of knowledge sharing. Even the Bible itself says that my people are perishing for lack of knowledge. And in this realm of cybersecurity, most of us are making mistakes and falling prone victims to issues that basically will just have been avoided in our behavioral aspects online. And as such, you end up losing the credibility, losing reputation, losing financials, and all that. So this session is pretty much aligned to knowledge sharing, and it elicits a lot of discussion. So I've tried to structure this presentation so that I can cover a lot of demographics, considering it's the chat session. I'm not go so much technical, but still cybersecurity is a technical element, so I'll not go so much technical, but just look at issues that really affect us on a day-to-day basis as it relates to matter cybersecurity. And in fact, I don't know if the church knew this, because we are moving to October. October is usually September to October is usually cybersecurity awareness month. So it's aligned with the calendar of the events that are going to happen even across the world. So, and the theme for this year 2023 is on IT, secure IT, and protect IT. So as an individual, what role are you going to play as an individual to just own the technology that you use? Everybody, there's nobody who doesn't use technology currently. Nobody. Even the oldest granny in the village has got a child who has got given a kabambe, calls them and do that. So our life pretty much is shaped by technology, and with it comes inherent risks that we should be aware of and prevent ourselves from becoming victim to such. Each and every one of us in this call has had somebody who has fallen a victim to a form of cyber fraud, identity theft, or an attempted cyber fraud. So as indicated, my name is Bonface Asiligwa. I'm a cybersecurity consultant, I'm also sitting member in the national standards on issues to do IT security techniques. We draft standards for Kenya under KEBS that shape the security of our cyberspace. I belong to the NC4, that is the National Cyber Incident, the Computer in Response and Incident Committee, and I was a former vice president for ISACA Kenya, for the guys who have heard about ISACA, and pretty much I work for Kindred as head of IT infrastructure and cybersecurity. So without much ado, let's just dive into the presentation of today. So in this discussion today, we are going to look at attack trends, attack scenarios, what happens as you use technology. Or in on IT, we are going to look at social media, social engineering, privacy settings. We are going to look at best practices for device applications. That's device applications. Basically, I'll delve into laptops and mobile phones. That's because that one is what affects people across board. Issues to do with password, PIN, paraphrases, multi-factor authentication, shopping safe, how you behave online when shopping, issues to do with phishing. I will explain what phishing is. Most people maybe think that complexity, but it's a very simple thing that everybody who has got an email has fallen prey to this or has fallen prey to an attempted phishing attack. So in this discussion also, we are going to do when we look at Protect IT, we are going to look at what you should consider when doing the issues to do with the update of the latest software, web browsing, operating systems. We are going to look at Wi-Fi. Most of us use Wi-Fi, how best practices to do even with your home Wi-Fi, keeping your customer data or your data or customer information safe. We have had the issues, I've brought in the issues of SIM swapping, which is a major issue that is happening in our cross divide, and protecting child safety online. So I hope all these issues resonate very well with this demographic, with us. So I just looked at issues in cybersecurity that resonate with pretty much everybody as they carry on their day-to-day life events, be it social, be it religious, be it economic. So why are we talking about cybersecurity? Question is, in this area. Since COVID-19, there has been accelerated adoption of digital capabilities. There are things that we used to do physically right now after COVID that were only done by techies, like shopping online, but it has now come the norm. Conducting like this training, basically before COVID, I bet, will have been done physically in the church. I would have done this presentation. But after that, people accelerated the adoption of technologies. So there has been this. But why is it that now cybersecurity is becoming a major concern with us? There are three things that are specific to Kenya. And I'd like to bring this up to you because this is what is really making Kenya a focal point for cyber criminals and cyber incidences. One of it is Kenya has got 96% coverage of internet connectivity. That makes it the second most connected country in Africa after South Africa. So we are the second. Kenya has got cheap broadband. Actually, in Africa, we are the cheapest in internet provision. Our internet is cheap. So if you're complaining your data bundles are expensive, try a place like Malawi, try a place like Burundi. Burundi is 80% internet penetration. So you can understand. So it means in Kenya, even an idle person has got a phone that they can do anything with it. Now, Kenya, our education system is so advanced compared to our peers within the Eastern Africa. I'm not saying about East Africa, Eastern Africa, the 10 or something Africans in East Africa. So our education is so much advanced. So we are churning out graduates in technology that the market cannot absorb. These guys are the guys who are sitting idle. You've heard about Molot boys, you've heard about the Juja boys, you've heard about what. So these guys, with that also makes cyber risk become a very big issue with us. I usually pose this question: why will a graduate of IT, cybersecurity, computer science, and this also calls for morality, and that's why you're talking to church, is our moral status also in the society. Because you have a child who has graduated in technology, he doesn't have a job, or is being offered a job by entry jobs for technology guys in banks, basically around 60,000, 70K to 50,000. And yet this guy has got a skill that sitting in the backyard, in a room, in a bedroom in his parents' house, can be able to conduct fraud online and has a potential of even earning 6 million in a month, 500,000 in a week. So would this person be attracted to go to the conventional employment? No, these guys will be much more attracted to being a cyber espionage, cyber crime aspects for economic gain. So that's why Kenya becomes a very unique country as matters to do cybersecurity. So the issues of cybersecurity we're dealing in the country are almost letting to advanced economies like UK, US, and all that. And it's going to persist. It's going to become worse. We are not seeing it going down because the number of institutions that are offering IT-based skills, the current market that can absorb these skills, the internet penetration is going to go up to 100%. So everybody who has a gadget somewhere can be able to connect and do whatever they want to do on that. So that makes it, and that's why we talk about the element of familiarity and sophistication of the attackers being able to leverage on tools outside there and easy access to technology that can be able to perpetrate this kind of cyber issues. So everybody, they say currently in the current wide dynamics, up to 70% of people have got a social media presence, 70%. And in countries like Kenya, we'll be talking about around 75 to 80% people having a social media presence. Because now the only guys that don't have a social media presence is guys from 6 years, let's say, and below, and the guys who are demographic that falls beyond 75 years and above. So it's the one that maybe may have not a big social media presence. But the rest of the gap from 6 years up to 75 years have got a social media presence somehow. Social media, we're talking about you have an email address, either you communicate through email, you have a phone that is smart, you have a social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that. So that one makes us prone and vulnerable to these cybersecurity incidents. So when we talk about on IT in social media, and there are almost over 3 billion people on the internet, over 3 billion. And these people are real and fake. And it's very difficult for you to differentiate between a fake individual and a real individual. I'll give scenarios that we've, attacks that we've experienced through social media and all that. And having a social media account, just to bring to your attention, increases your chance of having an identity theft by 56%. Because some of us, we have had a habit, anything that we do, you move from your house to Nairobi, you lament about how the matatu service is horrible, how the traffic is bad. You move from Nairobi to JKI, you may take a call even with the flat phone and you post. You move to Mombasa, you are doing that. So that one makes you prone. You have all your photos, different types of photos online. Identity theft is very easy. Somebody can easily create an account that looks like you, that has done things like you, just using what you've put on the social media. And that one makes you vulnerable to identity theft. 48% of consumers across the world have been targeted IDs or identity theft. Now, I want to put this to you, that everything that you share, and maybe I'm talking here to parents and all that, guide your children. Everything on the internet never goes away. Internet is forever. Nothing in the internet goes away. So when you post, assume everyone will be able to see what you're posting. And as you post anything on social media, ask yourself, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to come. And this one is a message that should go to the guys who are the younger demographics. How will it affect you 20 years to come? I'm sorry to give an example. Like, for instance, you go and post a social media, you post, you're having, at the time when you are dating, you're not yet even married to somebody, you're just dating. So you go, you're traveling, you post social media photos with that individual, you post online. Now it comes somewhere, you become somebody of interest, and we are seeing this one happening to our very own leaders right now. You now did not marry that person, you ended up with somebody else. You are now assuming an office that has got public interest. What will happen to you? People will now start pulling those issues, posting how, and which is not true. And that one goes ahead and even does damaging to your reputation, your standing in the society, and your authenticity. Yeah. So when you post, assume there is no privacy. And this one include email. Before you send that email, even ask yourself, is it worth? So privacy is a very big issue when it comes to social media. And internet never forgets. And we usually blame fraudsters for using our accounts, for faking our accounts. But we enable fraudsters to fraud our relatives, to defraud people of interest, to defraud us ourselves by just what you have posted on the internet. Take it slow when it comes to matters to do with social media. That's one of the best strategy on social media, yeah, is take it slow. Take a second to read and think before you click. Even just liking a post of somebody, you need to really ask yourself several questions. Not everything on social media is worth your comment, is worth your liking. Not every event that you do in your life is worth posting on social media. You might be something very lowly, not having an ambition, but you don't know what tomorrow holds. You'll be required to hold a specific position in life, but just by the fact that you posted something or you commented something on social media may affect you. In my space, I'm consulted severally by companies, organizations, even multinationals, to do profiling for organization. And one of the key elements of profiling nowadays is not even your referees, is not even your relatives, is not even where you worked for, is social media. We profile an individual because an individual's characteristics can easily be determined by what they have been posting on social media. Their behavior online really tells a lot about yourself. So I've seen young professionals, terrific, somebody who's very qualified, but just posted a very silly social media post that denies them a chance to access an employment, to access a deal. Right now, we've been following up a consortium with the UN, one of the UN bodies, and we brought in a consultant to just be a consortium of consultants. One of our guys has costed us not to have that consultant because of some views that he had, strong views that he had about children and single mothers online. So, and this UN agency is aligned to that. So these are issues that we really tell people and really affect your social standing, and can be leveraged by criminals to impede your security online. Permission is everything when it comes to social media. People, you go online, you want to subscribe to an application, it asks you to use your Facebook or your email account for you to give access to that application. As the saying goes, there is no free lunch, and as such is on social media. There is nobody developing an application. If there are people here who are IT, from IT background, developing a simple application takes rigorous time and effort. So why would somebody go ahead and develop an application rigorously and then give it for you for free to go online and use it? There is a catch. They're either just going to collect your private data and use it maliciously. They are going to harvest your email address, your privacy, and all that, and use it. And most of the time, when you are on social media, we are always bombarded by information, by things that have some urgency and elicit some urgency in us to comment, to respond, to click. So the mantra on social media is take it slow. Never have an urgency to comment something on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on any social media platform, TikTok and all that. Ask yourself if the offer seems too good to be true. And that's why I'm saying some applications. You get an application, they're just asking you, use your Google account to log in. Then you log in your Google account, it even asks you for your Google password. You log in, asks you another password, you log in your phone PIN and all that. They just have a set of credentials for their use. Research the background of the company or the website or the application that you are trying to access. Always, for authenticity of websites, it must have a HTTPS. I'll be talking about when you are shopping online safely. Avoid clicking on unknown email links and attachments. Forward any such unknown emails. If you are an individual, it's in a company setup, forward it to your IT guys. If it's not in a company setup, you're just an individual, consult. People might guide you on that. Avoid accessing critical websites through public Wi-Fi if need be. Use your mobile data. And this, I'm going to overemphasize it. I've seen a lot of fraudulent, and I'll give you an example when I'm doing safe shopping. You want to do a transaction from your bank, internet transaction from your bank. Let's say internet banking, you want to do that. Or an application that your bank has given you that you can log into your account, and then you go ahead and use a public Wi-Fi to log into that account and do transaction. Then tomorrow you realize some funds have been transferred to you out of your account, you start complaining. Anytime you want to do a transaction, be it using an M-Pesa application, be it your bank application, accessing your company website, your company systems, ERPs and all that, to do any transaction, use your data bundles or a safe Wi-Fi connectivity, like your home internet connectivity. But don't go to sit to Java and do a transaction. Go and you are in a hotel, even big hotels, the Sarovas and all that. You are using that hotel internet Wi-Fi to transact. to approve things for your company. You are using it to log into your mobile banking application. I can guarantee you tomorrow you'll lose money and you'll not know how you lost your money. You'll start blaming the bank, and the bank was not responsible for that. Avoid downloading and installing software from unknown illegitimate sites. If you're using an Android phone, there is a Google Market where you can get an application. If an application is not found in Google Market, it means that application is not verified by Google. There is a rigorous process for people to publish applications on Google Market. So they check the security, the authenticity of that application, what they do if there is an application that is rogue, used to hack or compromise people's privacy. They've done that for you. So, but if an application is not going to come from the Google Market, it means that application has not gone through any verification, and there's likelihood it comes with another baggage, either harvesting your data from your phone, harvesting your photos, harvesting your, now just compromising your privacy, including the security of the other applications that you have, including mobile banking, M-Pesa, and mobile money transactions. There is no lunch, as I said, in technology, there's no lunch is for free, as they say. And again, no application is for free. There also always a catch when you get a free application. Avoid using your company details to sign up for non-work related online activity. I'll give an example also on online shopping and all that, how somebody, an issue that we've just done a forensic investigation recently, and how somebody lost a lot of money in a company by just making a stupid move of logging in and doing approvals for the organization in a public, using a public Wi-Fi. There are several tools online, and I usually invite people to use this. As an individual, for those guys who are, let's say, in an organization, you're a corporate person, just go to this site. I will share this slide. So it's called Phishing Quiz with google.com. This one is an application that can assist you to rate yourself or your company or your organization or people that you work, even in a church environment. I know you run projects and you have people who run projects, they approve funding through mobile banking, through banking and all that. If they run this, just to bring abreast to these people their level of understanding of phishing. Phishing attack are usually, those links you usually get in mail, somebody mimicking somebody else using technology, and you may fall prey into this. Click on a link that can harvest your credentials, go to a site that is fake and enter in your login credentials, and they harvest it. So Google has provided a site that tests your level of understanding of this and gives you answers and recommendations on how you can be able to, on your level, how you answer this quiz. So it's usually called Phishing Quiz with google.com. Now, everybody, one of us here has, maybe most of us, not assume everyone, most of us here have got email addresses. Email addresses that have already been compromised. And the moment your email address is compromised, be it corporate or private, and most of guys you have a corporate email, you have a private email. And other guys who have got, even in the corporate world, assuming somebody like myself, I have a private email with Gmail. I have an email with Kenton, my employer, and I have another email for the company that I used to consult. So you'll find I have almost 3 email addresses. Most likely, you either using the same password or password that are related. So there is this website that was developed by the US National Institute of Science and Technology. It's called haveibeenpwned.com. This scans all email addresses in the world and lists email addresses that have been compromised. So some of us, we don't know we have even been compromised when we've already been compromised. So if you go to Have I Been Pwned and just type there your email address, it will tell you whether your email has been compromised or it's yet to be compromised. So if your email is compromised, then the best thing to do is immediately to change the password credential of email. And for us in cybersecurity, we usually ask people yearly to go to this site and just type in your email. Have I been pwned? You type in your email, and it will tell you whether your email has been compromised, and it will give you the listing of the sites where your email has been compromised and it can be accessed. So you'll be able to change your password. If it's not compromised, it will also tell you your email address is still safe. It has never been compromised. In cyberspace, we will say there are those who know have been compromised, and there are those who don't know even they have been compromised. There are those who have not been compromised. There are those who have been compromised and they know they have been compromised. And there are those who have been compromised and they don't know they've been compromised. So don't fall in the third group that you have been compromised and you don't know you have been compromised. And that's why Have I Been Pwned is a very serious tool for you. Anybody who wants an email address can use to check whether they've been compromised. So every device that you use comes with an application, M-Pesa application, everything that application. Yeah. So it has every application. So what we usually advise, pay attention to permissions you are granting when you install or use application. Slow down and read the fine print. Most of us, there are usually those agreements to accept an application or install. But what we usually do, what do we do? You just go accept, accept, accept. You don't even read what that application need. Some applications you will tell you to get to the application, log in using your Facebook or your Google, and you go and give them grant access to your Gmail, your Yahoo, your private corporate email address for you just to get that application or to get that information that you want to get. Ask you, do they really need to know your location? Some of them usually even ask you, will I have access to your camera? You have access to your GPS, and you go ahead and click yes, 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 yes. Yeah. So these are things that usually compromise your privacy, your security, and you'll never know how you are compromised. Yeah. And an aspect, let me tell you, folks, that we've seen, there is another site called Shodan. Shodan is a site that shows all cameras that have been installed in the world that are compromised. So imagine you give an application access, and this application is listed by Shodan, so it can turn on your email. There are breaches that have happened across, and we've seen even in Kenya here, where your smart television, advise usually people, even when you just place your smart television, the television you have installed in your bedroom has got internet access, and you do not know the security features around that particular device, and it's right in your bedroom. These devices can easily be converted into cameras. So you can imagine that that's the extent of security that you yourself, you're the one with your behaviors usually offer these rogue actors access to your privacy. You're just installing an application, maybe to assist you spell check a document. This application now is asking you to access your email, because to access your email, to access your camera, to access your location, and you go yes, 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 and you start using the application and you forget about it. Now you leave this application running. It's tracking your movement. You fly where, you go where, it's tracking it. Some of them even can activate your microphone and even understand what you're talking about. So anytime you have an application that is asking you to use your account to log in, ask yourself, is it really necessary? What is it that my email account hold, that this application having access can easily compromise? Because you don't know the manufacturers, you don't know the actors behind that application. Another element, vaccinate your device. As you just vaccinate your devices have got a mechanism to be vaccinated. We get pop-ups on your mobile phone to update. Even the most critical of applications that we use, M-Pesa application. You say update later and you forget. Most updates that come for applications, I will tell you, 90% is about security updates. So most of us, an update comes, you say later. An update comes, you say later. And yet the provider of the service is trying to protect you by updating this application so that you are not compromised. So anytime you see a pop-up of an M-Pesa application, don't say update later, update it. You see a pop-up of your laptop, Windows requires an update, Office, update, don't say later. Windows 7 requires a Windows 10, Windows 11, update, don't say later. If you're using a laptop or computer, always have a legit antivirus in place. It will have a big difference and a big protection for your transactions and whatever you're doing with that device. So still on device and application, privacy on social media, limit your friends list to actual friends and restrict what you post friends only. Most of the time, you just get, I receive a friend request from this. You go ahead and accept friend requests. Ask yourself, is it really necessary for me to accept this friend request? What is this person targeting? The actor may not be targeting you, but he may be targeting your family member. You are a wife of somebody, so a guy comes online, request for your a Facebook request. You don't know this person. Maybe there's something he's targeting in your family. You're targeting your husband, but he knows very well he can come through your friend request. So that when he requests your husband for a friend request, he will see that this is a friend to my wife, and he will accept easily. And with that, you are creating a lateral, you are easing the element of compromising this person's digital footprint. Change your privacy settings as appropriate. On social media, on Facebook, they have a way you can limit the people who can see your profile. Maybe either your friends only, you can select specific people to see your profile and what you're posting. So when you post something, you know the people that can be able to access it are the legitimate people that you want to see it, not everybody else. So, but what we do online, we are oblivious of these settings completely, and we just go rogue and post things. We don't have any private settings. Even on WhatsApp, there are settings that you need to do and restrict some elements on your WhatsApp utilization. Simple things, always locking your screen, your desktop, your phone, having a lockdown. How long does it take before your laptop locks? How long does it take before your phone screen locks? How often do you change your PIN? Yeah. So because the moment you enable locking of your screen, it means information that is on that device is encrypted. So even if somebody can access and try to crack it, like for the guys in iPhone, they can never access that information if they try to compromise that device. Immediately that device is locked. Even Android devices and Windows have really gone. But if your device stays for 30 minutes, 20 minutes before it locks, it means if I leave my device on the desk here, it is very easy for somebody to compromise my device, even to come and install a spyware within 10 seconds. They've installed our spyware and they've gone. So you think you are having a device that is only yours, but somebody accessed it. Even in the office, you just leave your mobile device here, and it takes 20 minutes to lock. So somebody can come on it, install a spyware, and it goes. So any messages that you send, any communication that you send, because security for mobile devices has been enhanced in such a way that for somebody to have a spyware, and this one I can tell you from a technical perspective, one, they must either collaborate with your telecommunication service provider, in our case, either Airtel, Safaricom, or Telecom, or they must have physical access to your device for them to be able to hack you and just, let's say, monitor your communication, your calls, your texts, your SMS, and all that. And the mistake that we made is this: you have a device that takes a lot of time to lock, that doesn't have a lock, that doesn't have a password, or it has a very weak password. Yeah. So you are in a social place, you leave it to a person of interest in job, you trust people so much. You leave the device takes 20 to 30 minutes to lock. At most, your device should take at most 1 minute to lock. At most. But most of the time, your device, people, 30 seconds. If your device is idle, you are not using it, it should be able to lock. Idle time should be 30 seconds. So that within 30 seconds, I do not think somebody will have moved to the desk, checked where you are going, and done something to your machine. We have experienced cyber incidents whereby somebody left a machine and it was locking after 3-4 minutes. Other colleagues logs into the device, they conduct a transaction as if with the email of this person, and they sit around. You stay 20, 30 days and all that, questions start abounding. Why did you write this email? Why did you? But the email is coming from your phone. Now, even you call forensic experts like us to come and analyze if indeed the email came from your device or your phone. We say, yes, the email came from your phone. But you just made a simple mistake of having a very long time setting for your device to lock your screen. So still so what we are saying is only use applications from reputable providers. Apps that look too good to be true are usually all 5-star likes and all that. Those apps are usually scams. An application that tells you install this application so that you can be able to monitor whatever. Load this application so that you can be able to trade online. You can earn this much. Those applications are usually scams, and the application that will harvest your credentials. There's application that people will use to hack you. So always download application from credible and reputable providers. The element of privacy setting. Don't log into one application account using another. I've just said this. Those annoying pop-ups that ask you if you want to log into a new account using Google or Facebook means that those applications will be sharing your data about you. Create individual accounts with unique credentials for every application that you want to use that have got a password that require access. Another weakness that we do is syncing. Yeah. You've enabled automatic syncing. And this one, I'm just calling on people on Android to go to their phones and check, how is your syncing done? Is it automatic or is it manual? This is a major weakness in settings of your device. Yeah? If syncing is enabled on your account between apps and your device or account is compromised, you haven't just made life easier for yourself, you've also made it easier for the attacker. consider syncing manually instead of enabling automatically. Most of the devices come with syncing that you can do a setup that will be synced. It will do the syncing maybe at midnight. Those kind of syncing. So it's automatic, but it's specific time that when it will sync. But it's not on throughout. So some of us you've turned on syncing throughout. So that application is syncing everything, collecting your data, your call logs, and all that. No, it's when you do syncing that is automatic and on always, you have just made easier for somebody an adversary who wants to compromise you. So when you lose your money in M-Pesa, you start blaming the Mulot boys, you start blaming Safaricom, you start blaming your bank, but just made a simple mistake as doing this. Passwords. We highly recommend. Initially, we used to say passwords should be including a digit, include a special character, a star or whatever. Yeah, that used to be the norm. But right currently in the current cybersecurity dynamics, the longer the password, the better. Leave alone those elements of having numbers, digits, and all that. No, the longer the password is better. Think about sentences. Do password in form of sentences, not paraphrases. Sentences. There are various tools online, brute force tools, that a password that is only 10 characters and below, it is very easy for those tools to crack those passwords. Automated, they can easily crack them. But if your password is a sentence, it will go to you in 13, 15 characters. Think of that sentence in Kikuyu, in Jaluo, they can say, nyumbani kwetu ni mahali fulani. So, but you put it in your local language. That's a very good password. Yeah? Such like things. So those are the passwords. Think about paraphrase in terms of password. Don't use plain digits. Don't use plain. If it's a text, it should be a very long paraphrase. And then you say, think in sentence. Complexity is helpful still. If you can do a sentence and still add this uppercase, lowercase, and all that, it's okay. Yeah. But paraphrases and tenses are much more better than using what we call hexadecimal. The advice 8 characters that has got a number, a capital letter. Those passwords nowadays can be cracked immediately. Within 5 seconds, or something like there are systems around that are used to password dictionary brute force attacks. They can be able to crack any password that is less than 8 characters, whether you have put in capital letters and all that and numbers, very easily. So always think about putting your password in form of a sentence for all those accounts that you hold. So there's also a site that I will advise for people who want to progress with this, just to ensure that you are secure the password that you use. It's done by Kaspersky. Kaspersky is a very known entity, is well-established entity in cybersecurity, providing endpoint security and antivirus solutions. So they have a platform that is https://password.kaspersky.com. When you type here your password, you can enter in a password of your email address and the password. It will tell you whether your password has been compromised or how long it will take before your password is compromised. So it can help you to construct very good passwords for those critical accounts that you have, like bank accounts, your main email accounts, social media accounts. It's a very important tool that you can leverage on to be able to advise you on the password, even when the password is already compromised as you are putting. Because you can be designing a password that is already listed in those what you call brute force dictionary sites. Is already listed as a password that's compromised. So look at this site also. Now, if someone knows your password but doesn't have access or a code to text to your phone, you are protected. And in this, I usually tell people, if you have a bank that does not use multi-factor authentication, then it's a high time you should leave that bank or stop doing any online or mobile banking. Multi-factor authentication means is something you have, something you are, and something you know, using of these 3 parameters at a go to be able to log into a site. All of us, or most of us, let me put it, most of us have used the eCitizen services. You've used the NTSA services in Kenya here. Most of them, you'll see they have what you call multi-factor authentication. Because multi-factor is what you do. You use what you have, what you know, and who you are. So like an ATM card, having an ATM card with a PIN is a multi-factor authentication, because when you go to the ATM, you have the ATM card and you know the PIN. So you'll have to, for somebody to compromise you, either they get the ATM and the PIN for them to do a transaction in an ATM. But there has been attacks. That's why we're moving to chip-based ATMs, because there are people used to insert some gadgets in an ATM, some tapes. So tape-based ATM, you go there and they can go and refabricate or remanufacture your ATM once they've known your PIN. And this is where cyber criminals get it smart. And gone are the days when cyber criminals used to sit with computers trying to hack computers using codes and all that. Cyber criminals nowadays are leveraging on what you are providing them. And that's why it's important what you are posting on social media, on your email and all that is you think about it. For instance, my date of birth is already on my social media platform. My date of birth, my wife's name, I'm already declared on the Facebook. I'm married to so and so on this date, which means my marriage anniversary is known to all and sundry. My children are already on Facebook with their birthday celebrating and their deaths and all that. Yeah, my pets are on Facebook and all that. So I've already done 50% of the job of an attack to get to scam me. If this guy gets hold of my ATM, he's going to think about a combination. It's just 4 characters. So which combination will you think about very fast? Your date of birth, 1983, 1984. If it's not the date of birth of my firstborn, the date of birth of my husband, our marriage anniversary. So these are the first he will play around with. They will play around with. And most of us, where we are seated right now, passwords that you've constructed have something to do with yourself that is already on the social media. You try just to tweak it a little bit, but it is there. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you get really compromised. So as you sit there, these things that you post online, are they necessary? And if you must post them online, then who has access to it? Have you limited your privacy on social media? Because you do a lot of, you do 70% of the job of hackers, or what you call hackers. We have assisted them, 75 to 80%. We provided them information they need. So they just have to do the 30%. And the 30% also, they trick us using social media itself still. So we end up providing 20%. So they only use 10% of the technical knowledge to be able to compromise. And that's why it is very easy for somebody to do a SIM swap of an individual. It's very easy for somebody to compromise an M-Pesa account for an individual. It's very easy for somebody to take over a WhatsApp account of an individual. It's very easy for a company accountant to pay a company that they are not intended to pay. And these are issues that we deal with every day. Yeah. So 2 locks are better than 1 lock. Even just think about physical security in your home. When you think about cyber security, think about physical security. In your home, do you leave your main gate, your main door open because you have a gate and an electrical fence? You have the gate, you have an electrical fence, and again, you go ahead and put windows and the grills in your house and have a lock on the door. And even when you do the lock on the door, in your bedroom has got a lock to protect you from the element of privacy. Think about that as you go online also. Do you have this kind of layers of security when you go online? In whatever form, in your company, in your social media, in your email platform, in your WhatsApp, have you enabled? Like for instance, in your WhatsApp has got a facility to enable a PIN, authentication PIN, that it probes anytime you access, maybe after 2 days or when you change your device. Other than somebody accessing your phone, when they go to WhatsApp, they authenticate with a specific. Have you enabled it? So when you lose your gadget and somebody can cracks it, even getting to your WhatsApp is a problem, where they can be able to compromise, even send people messages to be able to send them money and all that. Yeah. So always, and we say, if you have a bank account, especially that has not enabled multi-factor authentication, that when you're logging in, you provide a password and it sends you an OTP, a one-time login, and a code to your SMS or to your email. So you use that code also to log in. So to finish the login, either disable completely that online banking and just be going to the ATM and the physical bank, or migrate from that bank, because you are going that bank or that circle. And this one also is very prime in circles, because the problem we are seeing about circles, and where also most of us belong, is that circles don't have the technology muscle like main banks. So they are moving to compete with banks in that space of technology, and having a hindsight to the risks that are bound when it comes to technology. So you find a circle that has told you can access your FOSA online by dialing hash this. But they don't have the security features like KCB will have, NCBA will have, and all that. So you are easily going to be scammed and lose money during these transactions. Anything you do a transaction online, you must have a multi-factor authentication. And a multi-factor authentication is something that you know, something that you have, and who you are. So most of us, we use two-factor authentication. We don't go up to the third-factor authentication. So at least something that you know and something that you have and who you are. Either combination of the two will enable you to have, like you can be able to log in using your email and your password, but then it sends you an OTP to your phone. So that is something that you have, yeah, to your phone. So that, again, it provides a mechanism to identify yourself before the transaction goes through. Now, shopping online. Let's talk about shopping online. Online shopping is another area where people have gotten, you go online on a site that you have not verified. Folks, for you to go to any site that you want to pay through the site, you want to provide your card details, your Visa card, your MasterCard. And number one thing to check is for this green padlock on that site, and it is HTTPS. Any site that does not have this HTTPS, don't provide your M-Pesa payment through it. Don't provide any form of payment. Don't provide your bank details through it. It is very easy to lose money, and lose money big time through the site. So before you pay something online, you must check it has got HTTPS. It has got this blue, green on its plane. So if something look too good to be true, it is probably is online review sites. Use online review sites. I mean, you go on site and you see a shoe that you know very well will cost you 15,000, 10,000, and you're on a site and that shoe, the same shoe is showing you it can cost 1,000. Why? What is the value proposition? So that's what I'm saying, be very keen online. So, and probe more, check out what other people are saying about that site before you commit to pay, because you may just pay and lose money. And I've seen a lot of people who have lost money. In fact, we're talking about millions of shillings. When shopping online, create unique accounts for every shopping site and use unique password for each site which you are doing. So you go online, you want to shop, it asks you log in your Google, you log in your Google. You go to a second site, log in your Google, you log in your Google. So right now you have no clue who has got your credit card details, who has got your access to your account. So anytime you go to a site you want to shop, you go to Jumia, create an account in Jumia that you can shop with Jumia. You go to Amazon, create a different account there, even local site, and use that account to shop. And we should also advise people, when you are doing shopping online, don't use your original card where, let's say, your salary comes from, your business main business account. No, buy, let's say, a prepaid smart card where you only load cash into that card when you want to shop online, and you shop online, and that's it. So even if somebody compromises that card, they can have very little money to siphon out of you. But you are taking a whole business account card and you're going to shop with it online. It has maybe millions of shillings, that are hundreds of thousands of shillings. And when a scam happens, then you don't have a leverage to limit to which extent these guys can be able to scam you. Emails. Anything email that comes to you that sounds an offer that sounds too good to be true and has got an element of urgency, don't click on that mail. In fact, your device, don't even hover the mouse over that link, because those are scams. And the moment you click on that link, it installs a malware. It starts harvesting your credentials. There are things that are called key loggers. It can log what you type, everything that you type. So they can just do a sequence. You typed kcb.geo.kenya.com. Yes, you did. You went through it. Then the next thing you type something, which means that is your email address or your username. The next thing you type is a password. Tomorrow somebody is logging into your bank account, is logging into your email account, and you don't know where, and your account is hijacked, because the moment they log into your account, your social media account, they take it over. They change the password. So now they locked you out as the legitimate. By the time the service providers are going to prove that you are the legitimate owner and the other guy is not the legitimate owner, you have been locked out of your account and you can lose it big time. Some of us, with our profession and it is very expensive to lose your digital ID, my Facebook account, my WhatsApp, my phone number that I use to communicate with my customers. Today it has been done SIM swapping with criminals. Then I am forced to buy another phone number. Can you imagine how much business you will lose? So these are nitty-gritty issues that we need really to think about and practice cyber hygiene when we are online. So let me just give an example of this thing called phishing. So as I say, phishers use information that is publicly available about you to make think you know them, or to make them see more credible to you. Slow down and take time. As I said, you get that email address that has got an agency. I want to give you a scenario, an example of a case that we are just investigating for the guys who are in business world or in corporate world. A major company in this country. So the CEO of that company, and I'm going to talk about Wi-Fi safety in the next slide, with this thing of working from home. So the guys, he has got young children, so working from home became difficult from him. So he could go in the nearby, around the area of Westlands, in a cafe, in a very good hotel, and just work from there. He logs into emails, proofs payments, and all that, and goes to the house. So what happens, these guys they use the hotel Wi-Fi, which I'm telling you, if you are doing anything professional, approving things, accessing corporate ERPs, doing approvals online and all that, just tether your phone, use your data bundles. It will cost you less than the compromise that can happen when you use public Wi-Fi. So this public Wi-Fi was already compromised. The way I'm saying, people can create a page that looks like, so when the business email was compromised through this open Wi-Fi, they got to understand these guys are about to pay a French company a lot of money, which was amounting to almost 75 million Kenya shillings equivalent at that particular time. And this year. So they get to know to spoof the email address of this guy, and they could get the conversation. So these guys went ahead and created a domain and an email address that looks the same. Just the difference was an I. Yeah. Like just the name Bonface at kentrad.go.ke. So they just created another email called Boniface. Yeah, at Kentrad. So they can be able to create that domain. So I started sending emails. So they sent a mail to the finance guy. So they've known the details of the payment, everything. They've done all the invoices from the email of the CEO. They sent to the finance guy and instructed, pretend they are now the guys, the CEO now. They pretended they are the CEO. Have been informed by this company that the account has got a problem. Kindly send money through this account. You are looking at that email because you not take a lot of care to it. You just read the last name, you see this mail is legit. So what does the finance guys do? And if you are in doubt, conduct this. So they provided also another email address that they've now created another domain that looks like the other company. So you contact this guy. This guy is confirmed. This is our email address. These are the payment details. We have a problem with this bank. Use this bank. They transmit the first batch of 50 million. So they were to send the other millions after 3 days. It was on a Friday, so they could not continue the other transactions. So on Monday, when they wake up, the CEO wakes up with the other company, the legit company in France, they are furious that the money did not come through. So the CEO calls the finance guy. Why didn't you send the money? The finance guy says, I sent the money. So they start back and forth. We sent you the money. These are the details. So they send the guys in France. These are the payment details we made. You told us to change. The guys in France say, we've not sent you any payment change details. Our account still remains the same. That's the point they discover they have been scammed. When they call us in to come and do that digital forensics, we discover it was just a phishing thing that happened on an email compromise of an executive who was using an insecure Wi-Fi. The company lost 50 million Kenya shillings. So this is how serious these things we're talking about, and they are real and they're happening. It's not something we are bringing. So anything that looks too good to be true online, both on social media or not, think twice. Yeah. The telltale signs of phishing is too good to be true, a sense of urgency and fake familiarity. They'll try to mimic somebody that you know, most of the time. People who've been scammed by somebody claiming to be somebody that they are contributing money for somebody, maybe they are bereaved or what usually happens? They go online, they pick a photo of myself. I have several photos online. They pick a photo, they create a WhatsApp account, group account, they put my photo as the status, and they start sending my friends saying, this is so-and-so is in trouble. And the first thing you go and check when you just like, WhatsApp, that's his photo, is legit. This is in this photo, you're the one who has provided for these guys. So we give a lot of information online that is used against us. And anything that has got an urgency, even an SMS that comes that has a set of urgency that involves money, please confirm and reconfirm. Don't be in a hurry to conform. And they have that kind of fake familiarity. They'll call you by your name. Hi. In fact, they use your surname. Then the name they know that most people don't use it. Hi, Wamboi. Is so and so is in trouble doing it. Hey, you see, Wamboi. Hey, it's true. We grew up with this person. But you are the one who is online on Facebook and say, my long-time friend, my childhood friend, we school together. Wamboy, you get it? So they know already your friend calls you Wamboy, does not call you Mercy. So they'll call you by that name and pretend they're in problems and tell you, I was traveling to Nakuru. And yes, you know very well you talked to Wamboy, he was traveling to Nakuru. But Wamboy went ahead and posted online that he's on the way to Nakuru. They tell you, yes, hi, while I was traveling to Nakuru, I experienced this. Kindly send me 50,000. Kindly send me 20,000. They've also profiled you. They know the money they're asking you, you can be able to provide that money. But this is information that we provided online. So they fake that familiarity. And you're able to succumb and send. So don't, if that case, you need to confirm. Call the original number that you know from Boy. Don't this number that is texting you to confirm before you fall into this. Use caution. Look closely at the sender's address. Don't download or share any attachments in the email seemingly fishy. Don't click on links. Attachments and links can lead to malware infection that can be able to compromise you. So, as I said earlier, don't ignore updates. We are always busy. We always say update later, update later. If that's the case, then enable automatic updates on your applications so that when updates come, they just update automatically. Most mobile phone and user devices like desktops and all that, the updates are just usually don't have technicalities and adverse effects on the computers. So if you set now parameters to update automatically, it's good. Most updates that come to your computer, 90% updates are usually for security purposes, and only 10% are usually for enhancing of functionality. Yeah. So if you don't do this update, you are lagging behind and are more vulnerable. Set your device and system to auto-update. Again, as you do these updates, there are also fake software that will come in the form of updates and make you have an urgency to update your device, to update an application, but they're not coming from the legit. So check also, where is this application? If you just click on the details of this application, you can see this application is fake, this update is fake, and it's not coming from Microsoft, let's say. It's not coming from Android. It's not coming from Google, and you can avoid such kind of updates. We are all guilty here. For people who have got desktops in your houses that your children uses, you have got iPads, you have got tablets, you've given your kid chip, but because you need them to have games, they are connected to the internet. Yeah. And if it in terms of Windows, you have applications that are not licensed. And licensed software is a very big risk to you as an individual and to other than the usual fear used to be the penalties. Now it's not about the penalty, it's about your security online. Because these are devices that can be compromised very easily. So also always download software updates or patches or applications from legit. It may be $2. $2 is now equivalent to around 250 shillings. You better pay that $2 than having your mobile phone compromised or your Wi-Fi network in the house compromised. And that means every one device that connects to that Wi-Fi will be compromised. Wi-Fi is what we use for people, everybody who has got a smart gadget. If you're using public Wi-Fi, use VPN, virtual private network. This is just a tunnel that you can use to communicate that is encrypted. If you don't have access to a VPN, don't use a public Wi-Fi to access your email or important accounts, your bank accounts, or you connect your mobile phone to it and start doing transactions through your M-Pesa app. You will be conned. You will be swindled. Avoid using mobile. If it's anything you're doing on your mobile, just disable the Wi-Fi. If you want to do a financial transaction and use your mobile data, you are much, much more safer doing that than using the public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi, we mean Wi-Fi that you do not have direct control. Wi-Fi in hotels, Wi-Fi in coffee shops. Wi-Fi now Kenya is installing Wi-Fi in marketplaces. Wi-Fi in places you've gone to visit your relatives and you don't know the security mechanisms of them. You can use them to do other things, that Wi-Fi. But when it comes to doing important transactions, accessing your corporate email, accessing your corporate application, ERP systems and all that, accessing your M-Pesa, accessing your bank account, don't use those ones. Hackers will always poof the names and as copycat without password protection to trick you into using them. An example is here. This is a Wi-Fi. So these guys know there is a pop-in pizza parlor that has got a Wi-Fi that is protected. So you need to ask for this password. What do? They create another, what you call SSID, the Wi-Fi name called Poppin Pizza Free Wi-Fi. You see, it's a different name. So what is the nature of us, especially Kenyans? We like free things. So you will likely jump into the free Wi-Fi. When you jump into this, these guys have got applications behind it that record everything, every transaction that you do. Because when you are communicating on this, every communication goes through their Wi-Fi. They record it. This is how they spoof your bank account details. This is how they spoof your transaction, and they now end up compromising your bank account and stealing money from you, your M-Pesa and all that. Always confirm that you are using the network you are supposed to use before to be using at a hotel or a restaurant, and we are all guilty of this. In protecting of Wi-Fi, don't enable your device to auto-connect to networks. Some of us have got your devices online on your phones that are just in the mode of we call it promiscuous mode, because the device goes anywhere. It has any free Wi-Fi that is anywhere, the device connects to it. No, you should be able to initiate the process of connection to a device. Don't put your devices, and this goes even to your Bluetooth. Does your Bluetooth connect to devices automatically? Disable your Bluetooth when you're not using it. Disable your Wi-Fi when you're not doing it. And if your Wi-Fi, don't make it to be auto-connect. Let be yourself in control, that you are the one who initiates the connectivity. The less data you have, the less you have to protect. The issue of storing your own information, as well as you say, for the guys in business, vendors, clients, is a very big problem. Read this one. I was presented to someone, like, say, I'm just giving an example, like Kindred policies and all that. That organization that you have, do you have policies in place? There's the Data Protection Act that is in place about collecting sensitive information of people. How do you store that information? How do you deal with that information? As an individual, even when you post people's information, you've gone somewhere in a club, you've gone somewhere in a church environment, let's say in a social club that usually you are subscribed. Most of us are subscribed to clubs, your Mudaiga Golf Club and whatever. You go to that place, you meet with a dignitary there, you do a photo, you are on your social media posting. These people can take you to court for compromising their privacy. Maybe they do not want people to know they are in that place. You are in a social function, you take a gathering, people dancing, you post. Now with the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Law in place, with the Data Protection Regulation, Data Privacy Act in place, you need to be very careful. You need to seek consent. Anybody you take a photo with, and you're going to post it in a public, and even this goes even to the church. You have your own functions that you usually do, and do videos, do photos, and post. Find a mechanism of making some of the posts that people will know that they are going. Either put a disclaimer somewhere that the moment you are in this church, what happens in this church can be made public. Let's say in the main hall of the church can be made public, can be accessed through our website, can be published on our website, is a property of the church. Because tomorrow somebody will come and say you breached their privacy. And it is so true with the Kenya Computer Misuse and Cybercrime, with the Kenya Data Protection Regulation and the Kenya Data Protection Act. And this goes also to individuals who like in social media posting things. You land in a very big problem. And the fine for entities like organizations and all that is equivalent either to 10 years for the directors and all that, and is a profit making, is around 5% of your net. And for individual, it goes up to around 10 years imprisonment to 3 to 10 years imprisonment, or a fine of not less than 500,000 to 1 million to 10 million. So these are behaviors that we do online, not oblivious of the consequences that can bring to us using the smart devices. So I just thought it's very important also for me to bring out this one. So how do you deal with data? Physical and digital information should be stored, shared, and destroyed in accordance with the organizational policy or whatever. If you're collecting information, how long should data be collected, stay as members, let's say, for the church? How long do you keep this data? Who do you share with? Always wear your badge, or let people tailgate. This one is very important, even in instances like in a church environment. You have access controls. You have doors where people are supposed to enter, the others people are supposed to enter. And this one even accessories for people, even in offices. You have an access control. But then somebody goes and open a door, and then somebody follows them. This is what we call tailgating. So you open even a door, somebody that you even don't know. You've seen that thing? Somebody opens the door, it has got a physical access door, but they authenticate with their badge, they enter, but then they hold the door for somebody who has not been cleared with security to enter the same place. These are issues that have led to a lot of compromise in homes, in churches, in business entities, and that. Now let's talk about another thing that I thought is wise to break it out is what has been called the SIM swapping element. Is a menace that has happened in this country, where you wake up one day and you discover you are not in control of your phone, your SIM card. It has been swapped. Somebody else is using it as a legit person. Yeah. So what Safaricom, like our mobile service providers, have come up with a way. Telecom and Airtel, you have to visit a shop to be able to lock your phone. And I advise people, Airtel, they have a form that you need to fill to be able to block your phone from SIM swapping. So most people don't know this. Safaricom, you just dial star 100 hash, star 100 hash, and you locked your phone that nobody can be able to do a SIM swapping. And I advise everybody to be able to do this because you have protected yourself. Even if your PIN is compromised, somebody cannot be able to swap your phone and take over, charge your M-Pesa account and all that, unless they visit with the ID that looks like you in a Safaricom shop for them to do a SIM swapping. So that one has blocked out this element of SIM swapping. But if you are not having this protection in place with the social media details that you are posting, with what? Somebody will call Safaricom, and the moment with Safaricom, and the mimic is yourself, and Safaricom will assist them to swap your SIM card, and they'll take over your SIM card. And the moment they take over your SIM card, they'll do a M-Pesa transaction. And that's the time you usually see somebody sending you messages. I'm in a problem. I'm in what? And sends 1,000 people. And you're saying this is the legit phone of this guy. He's sending you. You go even to call you to call you check. You go even to try to send them 20 people. You see if they are the ones. The line comes with the name of this guy, and people send money. You are swindled. So on the other side, you have a reputation damage. You've sent a lot of broadcasted messages to people to help you. They've sent money. These guys have taken. On the other side, if you are running a mobile application on this, if you are running your M-Pesa head money, that money is gone. And then there's the element of reputation damage. You are seeking money, but you are not the one. So there's the element of reputation damage. Somebody you are not supposed to be even someone else. You have a stand in society. I cannot be in a position to to beg this for this. Then somebody is using your phone. You'll get to. By the time you're trying to tell people it was not me, the kind of damage that is done is very big time. So just make sure that your phone is swap protected. Yeah, dial 100 star 100 hash to at least your number and stop unintended SIM swaps, because it will mean for you to do a SIM swap, you will have to go to a Safaricom shop physically with your ID and yourself, present yourself. They look at the ID, they look at yourself and notice recorded for them to be able to do the SIM swap. Otherwise, it cannot happen online. But if you've not done this, somebody can mimic you, and mimicking you is very simple. Somebody can have access to you. They know you've sent somebody. Safaricom usually asks you a question: which number did you call last? Which means somebody has taken your phone, gotten access to your phone, cracked it, can access to your call logs, can access your M-Pesa and see, because can access your SMS and see who did you send money to last. So somebody having those details can easily call Safaricom and conduct a SIM swap. And this is how these things happen. But if you have protected your phone in this way, then it means you're protected, and this one cannot happen. Another thing that I advise people, especially the young people who have got, let's say you have older parents who are in the village and all that, avoid giving these folks smartphones. Those very old parents. If your parent does not need WhatsApp, does not need Facebook, does not need to do mobile banking online, why do you buy them a smartphone? Then when you go home, you visited, your children pick up that phone, they install application because they're going to use Google's or Shosho's phone to play games and all that. Or this Shosho has got a problem in reading and in doing that. They go to a shop for people to assist them transact their money that has been sent to them. You don't know the details that they're giving. Smartphone can make them so much vulnerable, and you cannot teach them these issues and complex issues we're discussing. Let those guys use Yakabambe, because their need is just to make a call. Once they make a call, they withdraw money in M-Pesa, and that's it. And maybe read a text. So why would you go and buy a whole smartphone that comes with a lot of vulnerabilities to a lot of scams to these guys? So also the type of equip people with the type of device that they are supposed to use for them, and don't make them vulnerable. So tomorrow that their bank accounts are wiped. You saw there's a guy of Equity in Muranga, there's an old man who was crying that his account, he has never visited his account, he has never transacted in his account for the last, I don't know how many years. But his account apparently has been active, money being withdrawn. But what used to happen? He just went to the guys who defrauded this mzee were the guys he used to go and withdraw money from in an M-Pesa shop. And these guys installed an application of the bank and told this mzee how to activate it. So the mzee could go there, the guys withdraw money, he goes with a smartphone. If this mzee did not have a smartphone, these guys would have not been doing what they were doing. So these are issues that we really need to be aware of as individuals and equip people relative to what their capabilities are with specific devices they can be able to use. Child protection is a major issue in cyberspace. Like for Google has got a very well established, I just thought to sensitize you guys, for people who have got children that you think they need to have smart devices in the house, be it an Android, be it an iPad, Apple, and all that, there is what to call Family Link online with Google. There's that facility where you register that device as the primary user, and then you register your children as children. And you can rank your children depending on their age. They have between age 3 up to age 6. And the moment that child logs in with the PIN of that, with their PIN, it links to child. The content that can only come to that device is relative to that age. There's YouTube. There's YouTube for children between age 3 up to age 6. There's YouTube for age 6 up to age 12. There's YouTube for age 12 up to age 18. And then there's YouTube for adults. So even if you leave this child of yours with that gadget and he goes to YouTube, they can only see content that are relative to their age using the Google Family Link. The Google Family Link can also assist you to monitor the activities. Anytime your child wants to install an application on that device, Google sends you a message with a link, the family link, for you either to approve or reject. And they send you a link with a description of that application they're going to install. You can control with your device the amount of time your child spends online. You leave your child with a desktop, because right now you're living in information age, technology age. You cannot deny them these devices. But when you give them, you need to be fully in control. So Family Link will tell you all the sites your child has accessed, all the applications they have accessed, the amount of time they've spent online, which is very important to a parent. So leverage for parents who are here, leverage on this tool that is being provided by Google to be able to control the online behavior of your children. Even if you have children who are sharing a device and they're different age demographics, make them log in each one of them with their account. Just create accounts for them and specify this one is this number of years, this one is, they'll provide the content relative to their age. And you'll have a control of your child, enable your children digitally, but then still be in charge of what they do online and even the amount of time they spend online. So with this, I think I'll come to a halt on the presentation. Maybe I invite questions, and if there's other topics that will emerge of this presentation, I'm always free to come on board and discuss with you. Back to you, the host.
Wow, thank you so much, Bonnie. This was very, very informative and mind-blowing, as I mentioned through a text. You have really tackled issues that we have either not taken much time to think about or ignored, and truly we are culprits. I mean, I just looked at some of the things that I do online, maybe using those public Wi-Fis. At some point I'm transacting, and the risk I put myself into, and also the fact that we at times don't even think about some of the opportunities we also have for security and protection, like what you just mentioned from Google. So I bet this is a conversation that we shall carry on, and especially as we now move to the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, September. And as a church, we would definitely seek to consult further and learn more about this. So asante sana. There were just a few questions that were posted on the chat section, but I wanted you to just note them because I want us to carry on with this conversation next Tuesday. So members will have more time to ask more questions. And because I know members have quite a lot that they want to ask, please, I ask and I beg you, write the questions to me so that I can package them and send them to our speaker, so that as he comes back next Tuesday, he will have an opportunity to in probably address the questions before he makes a further presentation. I have seen someone asking for the PowerPoint presentation. This presentation is recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So in case you'd want to go back through what we, want to share what we have gone through tonight, tomorrow, once you click at PCA Sukari, I think PCA Sukari Live, what we call our YouTube channel, yes, our YouTube channel, you will see the presentation posted there from the beginning to the end, and you can follow through. And the previous ones we've done are always available on YouTube. For now, because of time, thank you so much, Boniface, once again. I want to allow our parish minister, who is with us tonight, to just share his final comments and give us a benediction and allow us to continue with this conversation next time. I know there's a number of questions, but I have said we will save the questions so that we can be able to respond to them next time as we carry on with this conversation. Asanteni sana, mchungaji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our evangelist. Thank you very much, Boniface. That is, like our evangelist has said, so mind-blowing. I already feel like I'm vulnerable, so I think it's good for us to go deeper. Of course, I know the issue of the authentication has come in a different way, so we are happy, and we pray that God will help us even as we meet next Tuesday to continue on with the same presentation and even deeper. So now we can together say the grace, and now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Amen. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you so much, brethren, and may God bless us all. Tuonane next Tuesday using the same link. Share with your friends. Let us see you then. Thank you.